Hello everyone, today we're talking about political violence. Now, 3 specific events that have happened over the last week really symbolise this growing issue that I feel is happening in the world today, and I think we need to talk about this. So last week, the first event that happened was of course the assault on a known white nationalist and famous founder of the alt-right, Richard Spencer, as you can see right here.
Why do neo-Nazis love you if you're not a neo-Nazi?
Neo-Nazis don't love me, they kind of hate me actually.
The KKK, neo-Nazi.
Those people don't like me,
Are you
to be
like
honest.
the hipster version of the neo-Nazi movement?
It's Pepe's become kind of a symbol.
Now, he was just talking to the press. There were protesters behind him who were being peaceful and protesting what he had to say, which is fine. They weren't necessarily trying to stop him from speaking. In fact, they were kind of engaging with him and the press, which is fine by me, as long as they're not trying to censor him, as long as they're just doing this legally and without trying to attack him in any way, apart from, of course, his ideas, that is. That's absolutely fine. I don't have any issue with that. What happens? Well, you saw it. He gets punched in the face. Now, part of me felt, good on him. He got punched. Serves him right for being a white nationalist scumbag. At least that's the irrational, silly side of me who doesn't have much sympathy for white nationalists who don't like mixed race guys like me. However, the rational, logical side of me said, no, this is wrong. We shouldn't be doing this. Violence isn't the answer, because if it's your first resort rather than your last resort, you've lost the argument. That guy, that leftist protester who attacked Spencer, he lost the argument. He couldn't even debate him. He couldn't even, use words. He had to attack him. That just shows how weak his argument must be against a white nationalist, of all people. I mean, it's Richard Spencer. I mean, he hasn't got the greatest arguments in the world, and you're resorting to violence? Really? Now, the reaction from those non-regressive leftists and centrists and right-wingers and of course the alt-right was condemnation, and rightfully so. This was a stupid act. You don't attack somebody for having different ideas of their own with violence. You attack their ideas with your own ideas and with debate. You debunk their ideas. That's what you do. You don't just attack them. You don't punch them in the face because you don't like what they have to say. But of course, those on that guy's side, the regressives, they were saying it's okay to attack this guy because he's a Nazi, even though he kind of maybe isn't. He's a white nationalist. Therefore, it's okay because he's this. He's scum because he thinks like this. Therefore, he should be attacked. Even if he doesn't physically attack anybody else, even if he never does this, ever, or has ever done this, ever, like, say, skinheads do, for example, no, he still deserves to be physically attacked because of how he thinks. And sadly, this kind of attitude is not necessarily causing these next events, but causing the environment from which these events can arise. And believe me, this isn't just been because of that assault. It's been happening long before then, but really it came to fruition through that. And I'm of course talking about the Portland International Airport assault. Now, the Portland International Airport protest was about the Muslim ban, the so-called Muslim ban that President Donald Trump enacted through his executive action to address immigration and refugee crises in the US. And these people disagreed with that. They wanted to protest it. That's fine. Again, you all know what I think about that. But then they saw this guy. And now, I don't know if it's actually been confirmed that the guy is a Donald Trump supporter, but they thought he was a Donald Trump supporter. Whether he was or wasn't, doesn't really matter. They attacked this guy because of how they thought he voted and what he thought. As you've seen in this footage right here.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit!
Things get really hairy. They assault this guy, they attack him. All of the guys of peace. This guy literally is attacking this guy and shouting peace. Yeah, I guess I should really not be surprised because it's cognitive dissonance and it's social justice warriors. But really, seriously, you don't have the self-awareness? I mean, look, I understand that these people have empathy and sympathy for immigrants and refugees. They want to help these people. I understand that. But does attacking this guy make the situation for refugees and immigrants any better? No, it doesn't. It just shows that you can't actually deal with what's going on in front of you in terms of the Muslim ban. You can't debunk any of the arguments for it. You can just attack people because you have nothing. Sometimes I just can't fathom the levels these people will reach. And believe me, the next example isn't even regressives, it's right-wingers. And I'm of course talking about the recent shooting in Quebec, which claimed the lives of about 6 or more Muslim prayers who were in their mosque at the time of the shooting by a 27-year-old university student. Now, we all know that this guy was anti-Islam, who was what you could say alt-right, or maybe just very, very right-wing. He was a supporter of Donald Trump, he was a supporter of Marine Le Pen. He agreed with a lot of the things that they have espoused, although strangely enough, from what I've read, he was also an admirer of one particular Canadian left-wing leader of the NDP, but I forgot who his name was, but it's neither here nor there. The point is, he had views that you could argue is very similar to your average shitlord, maybe just far more right-wing, because usually shitlords tend to be more centrist. And although it wasn't these ideas that made him go out and shoot those people in that mosque, it was this environment of political violence is okay to solve your issues that really made him do that, as well as some obvious mental illness and mental issues that seemed to plague him, as he was, from what I can gather, quite a social outcast, didn't really get along with his peers, and well, you know the drill with these types of people. But I don't see how the social justice warriors can then turn around and attack this guy for using violence, which, fair enough, yeah, we will attack this guy for using violence. You should absolutely criticise this guy. You don't go around killing Muslims just because you disagree with their ideology. I disagree with their ideology. I'm anti-religion. I could be considered an anti-theist, but I won't go around killing them. I won't go around beating them up. No, I will debate these people. I will try to convince people who aren't convinced about how these ideas are stupid. And who knows, maybe that will convince other Muslims to deconvert. But I would never force them at gunpoint. I would never shoot people and make them scared. No, that's not what I would do. I don't think that's what most people would do. But how can they turn around and say that's bad and then praise people for punching Richard Spencer and just say nothing about that Portland protest that went wrong? That's hypocrisy. And it's their actions, it's them attacking alt-righters like Richard Spencer and people who may or may not be Trump supporters, like that man in Portland, that is creating people like him. It's a reaction in many ways. I'm not saying that he attacked that mosque because of those events, no, but that atmosphere was created that allowed him to do that, because maybe he's thinking, if they're using violence, so can I. Why not? I'm defending myself. These people are a threat. I must do something about it. Obviously, violence is the first resort that he chooses. And of course, he's lost the argument because he can't even go to the mosque and debate these people or organise a meeting, can he? I mean, it's like what Danny Duchamp said in his video. Yes, these ideas influenced him, maybe not to kill people, but in how he thought. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't stop thinking the way that we do. And that doesn't mean that we therefore can't criticise what he did. And that also means that social justice warriors therefore can't complain about this violence because they're the ones that are setting the precedent with their actions. And my worry is, and especially if this guy in Portland turns out not to be a Trump supporter or any kind of supporter in any way, innocents are going to be affected. It's bad enough that people who are actually the things that these extremists of both sides want to target get attacked. But people who aren't even remotely linked to any political party or any affinity whatsoever could get attacked on the basis of somebody saying that they're this, that and the other because they dare to say something that they don't like. Or even people who do disagree with social justice warriors or alt-righters but are labelled a certain way can also be attacked, even if they aren't like that. But of course, these extremists think that because these people are Nazis or communists or what have you, Muslims, because these people have been called this, therefore they must be. So it's okay to attack them because they're horrible people, because they think a certain way and we don't like that. These people are going to be, one, afraid of expressing their opinions, two, they're going to hide and not express them, so essentially we've got an atmosphere of fear, and nobody can be open and express these ideas and talk about these ideas. And that's probably what these people want, these extremists. Because imagine what would happen if these innocents see this happening to them by one of either parties. Well, they're going to flock to the other, because the other side will say, don't worry, we'll protect you. We will make you safe against these evil people. We'll show you what they're really like and how we're great for you. We're great for your future. Well, we'll be drowned out because they tend to be the loudest voices and the ones who do the most action anyway. So people will be convinced by either one of those people. So this is the problem with this political violence. Not only does it scare people into silence, but it could also scare people into siding with irrational extremists like regressives and alt-righters, and we really can't be having that, can we? Because on the one hand it makes Muslims even more isolated when they're having crazy right-wingers shoot their mosques, while at the same time it will make people flock to people like Richard Spencer when the inverse happens, when say a Muslim goes and shoots somebody, or when a regressive punches said Spencer in the face. As much as that may be funny to those of us more left-wing than others, at the end of the day it makes everything worse, doesn't it? So what can we do? Well, we've got to combat both extremes. We've got to make sure that we stop them from committing violence, which is easier said than done. I don't know how we're going to do that. We have to make our voices heard. We have to just keep on doing this peaceful way of what we've been doing, which has been working. But other than that, that's all I've got. So until next time, this has been CharmingMan93. Like and share the video, subscribe to my channel, and donate to my Patreon. Until next time, I'll see you all later.